Hello, I'm Skylarr, and this is Reddit. I'll be reading Reddit posts to you today over this lo-fi hip-hop. If you have any feedback for me or any problems with the video, make sure to leave them in the comments. Now, let's get right to it. For our first story, can you use your vacation days to watch our dog while we take a real vacation? So first, a little background. This happened about 3 to 4 years ago after I moved out of my parents' house and have been living independently. Then one day, I get this string of texts from my mom. Mom:
Hey, how you been doing? What are you up to 2 weeks from now?
Me: I've been doing alright. I've started lifting weights and exercising more. I don't think I'm doing anything too exciting next week, why you ask? Mom:
Perfect. Me and boyfriend are going on a trip and need you to house sit and watch the dogs for us.
Me: Sorry, but I can't just leave for a week. Mom:
Please, the dogs miss you and I'd really hate to put them in the kennel.
Me: Sorry, but I have a job. I can't just go missing for a week. Mom:
Why can't you drive to work from my house?
Me: Because it's a 2.5-hour commute each way. Mom:
You have vacation days, right? Just use them.
Me: No. Mom:
Please, I'd feel really bad about putting the dogs in the kennel. You know how much they hate it.
Me: You obviously don't feel that bad about doing it. Then I hear nothing from her until the day before they have their trip. Mom:
Hey, we're leaving for our trip today, and I was wondering when you were going to be here. I want to show you some things before we leave.
Me: What part of our last conversation gave you any idea that I agreed to this? Mom:
That's very rude of you, and no way to speak to your mother. Now, can we expect you here by 5?
And by that point, I just put the phone on silent and stopped talking to her. Edit: My landlord doesn't allow pets, so I couldn't keep them for a week. Also, the dogs went to the kennel and came out just fine. However, this all happened a while ago, and both dogs have passed since then. One to stomach cancer and the other to old age. I'll miss you, Dog 1 and Dog 2. This right here is one of the rare stories where the entitled parent turns out to be the poster's mother. This doesn't happen as often as you think it might, because usually it's stories about other people's mothers. And even if this is faked, which I very much doubt it is, I mean, it's still a pretty good story. For our second story, we have a slightly longer one here, being that the last one was a little bit short. We have: An entitled kid wants my laptop, so he clearly deserves it. Before we start, just want to let you know that I'll be doing my best to change the abbreviations EK to entitled kid, EM to entitled mom, and H to hero. If I slip up every now and then, let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to not slip up in the future. Now, let's get on to the story. I'm 16 and currently in my sophomore year of high school because of my late birthday. This was last month, so some things about the story are blurry to me, but I, for the most part, remember it. My high school does a thing for our elective courses, like art or film, where you can do low-level jobs like small commissions for local businesses, and at the time, I was helping with drawing up some design concepts with some dudes who own a small barbecue joint in Atlanta. They were really cool. We'd have some of their restaurants' pulled pork sandwiches before each meeting we had. As I said, cool guys. The story takes place on a train in the MARTA, Metro Atlanta Transportation Association. Since trains in the Metro have fairly cheap admissions, you'll see a lot of different kinds of people on these trains. Since most people on these trains have something of their own to do, it's usually pretty quiet on the trains, save the talkative people and the drunk hobos. But for the most part, people would mind their own business. On an especially crowded day for the 1900 train, I was playing my music as loud as I could in my headphones, without damaging my eardrums. I also had my laptop, and I decided to work on some more art for my portfolio and whatnot. Keep in mind though, this is not a cheap laptop. It's a touchscreen, and I use a Wacom Bamboo with it for drawing. At one stop, about halfway through my way home, a couple who was sitting next to me got off, and the entitled kid and the entitled mom sat down behind me. I almost immediately knew that the entitled kid was looking over my shoulder at what I was working on. How did I know this? Because the entitled kid was mouth breathing down my neck. Most people would try to ignore this, however. I have a sensory thing where certain stimuli would bother me a lot, like physical contact or someone breathing on me. Because of the sensory issue and the fact that this kid was 13 or 14, I decided to confront him about it. The following conversation ensued. Me: could you not do that? I'm sorry, I've got a sensory issue where certain things really bother me. Entitled kid: oh, sorry. After this first interaction, I figured that the entitled kid just had a hard time with social boundaries, like personal space or something like that. This, however, was not the case, as I'd soon find out. About 10 minutes later, entitled kid started trying to talk to me, but because of my music, I couldn't hear him until he tapped my shoulder, which is another stimuli I have trouble with. I took my headphones off and looked back at entitled kid. EK: what are you drawing? Me: oh, it's just a hyper beast type of design like from CSGO. Which, if you don't know what this is, it's on screen now. Alright, it is now off screen. EK: oh, cool. I put my headphones back in for about 5 minutes before the entitled kid started bothering me a third time. This time, he blew on my neck. Not breathed, he blew on my neck. This time, I spun around and looked at him, really annoyed at this point. Me: what do you want? EK: what's that pen? Me: it's a Wacom Bamboo. It lets me draw on this touchscreen. EK: oh cool, can I have it? Me: no, it's really expensive and I need it. Entitled mother overheard my conversation at this point. EM: what's wrong? Me: your son asked me for my laptop and I explained that he can't have it. EM: why not? Me: I use it at work. EM: how old are you? Me: 16, but then it isn't work. Me: it is. I just got back from talking to the guys who own the barbecue joint for the logo, which I use my laptop for. EM: that place isn't even real. Stop lying to me, an entitled kid. Me: searches the name of barbecue store and pulls up the page with a stark lack of a logo. EM: yeah, like any respectable restaurant would hire a spoiled brat like you. Me: ma'am, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop yelling at me. EM: yeah? Well, what will you do about it? At this point, H stands up in the background, which is Hero, by the way. I think nothing of this, though, since the next stop was coming up in about a minute. EM, raising her voice further, says, just give us the gosh darn laptop, as she reaches toward my laptop. Me, pulling back my laptop and turning it sideways to keep it away from her. Ma'am, don't do that. I'm trained in judo, so I wasn't worried about an encounter, but I'd hate to make a scene in the metro. H: hey lady, can you leave him alone? EM: what the heck did you just say to me? I was taken aback by this. Hero was defending me, and she wasn't backing off from a guy that looked like almost 175 pounds and almost 90% muscle. H: lady, you gotta calm down. EM: yeah, what are you gonna do? H: I work for the security company this train hires. EM, completely silent. H: okay, now then, I'd like you to sit down, ma'am. EM followed his instructions and was silent for the rest of the trip. EM and EK got off at the next stop, and H moved over to the seat next to me. H: you okay, kid? Me: yeah, I'm good. H: you wanna know something funny? Me: what? H: these trains have no security, neither does MARTA. That was a total bluff. Again, MARTA being the train company. We both had a good laugh and figured out that we lived in the same apartment complex. If you're seeing this, H, you know who you are, man. I owe you. Come by me in 5 years and we can get some drinks sometime, man. This right here is a classic example of an entitled parent story with a good ending. He made a friend, and he got rid of an entitled parent without even having to use his real job. Well, not his job, but another person's job. If Hero hadn't showed up, that would have gone a lot differently, and maybe this story wouldn't even be posted here. For our last story, we have, so a baby who isn't breathing doesn't matter because yours is sick and is here right now. So, a bit of backstory. A few days ago, when I was in the ER, I was sick and couldn't take my medication. I have CAH, which means my adrenal glands are screwed up. I was lying in a bed after having emptied out my stomach. Gosh, it was heck up until then. Waiting to be transferred to a short-term stay when I witnessed the following conversation ensue. Q. EM, entitled mother. The following might be fuzzy because I had woken up but minutes earlier. EM is entitled mother, D is doctor, and nurse comes by with EM's baby presumably going to weigh them. EM. What the heck are you doing? Doctor. All the appropriate doctors are attending to another baby. Bad answer. This girl went from 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds flat. EM. Why? My baby's sick too. Doctor. Ma'am, the baby we are attending to isn't breathing and is unresponsive. EM. I don't give a crap about how well someone else's baby is. My baby is dying. EM started to get in the doctor's face and she was mad. Doctor. Ma'am, please back up. EM. Some bullcrap reason why a child who isn't breathing is less important than hers. Doctor, I'm calling security. Wrong move. EM went from mad to mega mad. EM. You're gonna call security on me? I will make you lose your gosh darn job. It was at this moment my nurse came and carted me off to my room, and I never heard or saw EM or her baby. Honestly, I would pay money to see what happened to her. Sorry for the anticlimactic ending, but I thought this was perfect material for this sub. And because of this story, I officially think that parents should need to take tests before they're allowed to have kids. Because really, this person obviously doesn't know how to speak English, or was just speaking it and not listening. I don't know what was going on here. So, I guess that wraps things up for this video. We've made it past the 10-minute mark, which is way longer than the last one. And I think we did a good job. Thanks for watching. Leave me a comment. No need to subscribe or anything. It'd be nice though. And I'll see you if I make another one of these videos.